Not my usual kind of video, but we have something really cool here today. So this, as you can see from some of the packaging, is from McFarlane Toys. I do like to show this stuff because, as you've seen with some of my card openings and stuff, I like it when Konami put their name like all over their property, like this is our product, you will notice from us. And Pokemon do the same thing with their booster boxes and things like that. But we have McFarlane Toys wrap all the way through this box, including a nice little Spawn logo on the side of the box here as well. This arrived yesterday while I wasn't in, and they just kind of like left it around the side of my house in the rain, which I'm not impressed with, but hopefully there's no actual damage to this thing. It is sealed pretty tight, and there was a thing on it saying like keep this thing sealed and shit like that. So let's have a bit of a break into it and I'll explain what we're looking at. The Gundam knife will obviously be quite necessary for this one. Okay, we are in business here. So last year, McFarlane, Todd McFarlane himself, ran a bit of a Kickstarter campaign. If you don't know who Todd McFarlane is, he is, well, McFarlane Toys, McFarlane, it's kind of his thing. Ooh, look at this. Nice and robust, I appreciate that. Very securely packaged in there, I love it. Todd McFarlane was a comics creator growing up. He made waves in Marvel with some really good Spider-Man work, notably being a big part of Venom's creation. And he did a fantastic, like, radical redesign of Spider-Man himself. Guess we can just pull these out for now. He made a bit of a name for himself in Marvel, and then along with some other really famous comic creators at the time, he went off and made Image Comics. It's mostly notable for Spawn. Spawn being Todd McFarlane's creator-owned comic, really important black protagonist in comics, a record-breaking comic itself, getting well over 300 issues, and notably the most popular independent comic character of all time, making its way into things like, I mean, it's been Soul Calibur 2 as a guest character, and more recently Mortal Kombat 11 as a guest character. It's been a fantastic HBO animated series. There was an interesting but cheesy movie a long time ago. There's a new one in the works now with Jamie Foxx. And Spawn itself is one of those just really fun 90s edgy as fuck characters that you just kind of have to love. So now we have a box inside of a box. Todd McFarlane expanded his efforts. He's done a lot of fun work on a lot of different comics. And very importantly, also started McFarlane Toys. As a comic artist myself and someone who's studied comics, he's definitely a bit of an influence, because he just kind of is a self-made comics legend who's branched off into more than just comics itself. Some really iconic stuff. So Todd McFarlane Toys did some really cool stuff, including the first Spawn figures for a lot of the characters. Really iconic old stuff. They came with like comics and that as well. So it's been, last year was kind of a big year for Spawn, with the series hitting 300 issues. A lot of big stuff happening for Spawn, and this happened as well. So almost as kind of like an appreciation of Spawn's history, Todd McFarlane himself started a Kickstarter, and that Kickstarter essentially promised to remake the original Spawn and Spawn comic duo box set figure, and that's what you basically applied for. It did very, very well. It's done a lot, it's hit a lot of stretch goals. There's a lot of extra stuff you could get. It got to the point where you could get like signed face plates and things like that, and stands and some really nice stuff. But this is kind of the main deal. Oh, that feels fantastic. So I haven't actually seen this fully complete yet. I watched a lot of the production videos and stuff from Kickstarter. I mean, I donated to the Kickstarter nearly a year ago now, with a certain situation with the world going on right now. It has been a bit of a nightmare with the factory producing stuff and getting stuff sent out, and so it has had to come here from abroad, and it's been a whole nightmare. But this is a remake of this figure shown on the screen now. Very classic old style McFarlane figure with a comic book. This is a totally new version of that. Classic Spawn, and this is the first time I've seen anything like this in person. So to do it some justice, look, this is a thick ass box. As you know, this channel mainly for cards. He's a Yu-Gi-Oh size card, just to give you an idea. You can almost play a game on that. Damage equals Reptile being one of my favourite cards, obviously. But yeah, it's almost the right size for a playmat, if I'm honest. So thick box, very important. They promise to remake a lot more Spawn figures like this. I don't think I'll necessarily donate to all of them, but if they do, when they do different versions of Spawn, Medieval Spawn, if they can do that, I suppose there was some copyright issues with Medieval Spawn. But there's a lot of classic Spawn variations I would have a lot of fun with. So something I don't talk about a lot on the channel, I am a big comics guy. That is where I got a lot of inspiration to really do anything I do in media, was mainly from comics. And they say 1994 to 2021, big year, and it's really nice. It's all like etched and foil, beautiful, really nice material, matte box, covered with some really nice embossed text on it. I mean, that's fully embossed there. You can feel all the changes in the text. Very nice. Alright. And there's the bottom of it. It's got the pull tag and everything. Let's see if we can get this on our usual set. So I've had to kind of remodel the whole set here. Excuse the shit ton of cards that I haven't managed to get sorted yet. Those code cards are already used before you start trying to fucking skim through the video to get that sorted. They're already used, don't worry. So, this is our box. It is huge. It does not fit in my card display whatsoever, but the entire thing is just matte black. It has a very nice texture to it, and on the very front we have this kind of window display thing going on. This is embossed a little bit, and it has a little pulley thing to reveal it. So remember, I haven't seen this fully in its box and all that yet, so here's a picture of the original. Remember that, and this is what this guy looks like. Let's have a look. Very nice packaging. Quite excited about this. Oh, okay. Okay. It wasn't some big reveal. I thought we were going to get a nice big kind of like surprise thing there, but I think that's all the details. Oh, it's a comparison checklist. So, from Todd McFarlane. As an artist and a creator, I have worked to evolve my creations to the highest artistic level achievable. For this first Spawn Kickstarter figure, I wanted to go back to the original Spawn action figure I debuted in 1994. It's an upgraded tribute figure celebrating the beginning of McFarlane Toys in 1994 that has been remastered and modernized using skill sets, details and technology I have learned over the past 26 years. And because of the outpour of support from more than 23,000 backers, myself included, the Spawn Kickstarter figure earned over $3.4 million and set 2 Kickstarter records. So Spawn set a lot of records in its time. Thank you for participating in this record-breaking project. Stay tuned for the next one. Todd McFarlane. Very nice. So it gives you a nice bit of a checklist about what's kind of included in terms of this figure compared to the previous from 1994. So the original had a movable head and shoulders and waist and knees. This one has head, shoulders, biceps, elbows, wrists, waist, thighs, ankles, toes and knees, all movable. It gives you an idea of the weapons. The original had a board with nails. This one has, well, depending on which version of it you got from the Kickstarter, I suppose, you can get a board of nails, tactical assault rifle, grenade launcher with an RPG, sword, necroplasm, necro knife. Chains, both have these, originally plastic. The chains in this one is actually made from steel, if you would believe that. Steel hinges, compared to the original plastic hinges of the cape. Both come with the original comic. This has like a nice reprint of it, I believe. And this one also comes with a foil cover, which the original one didn't. And you can get some variant art covers, depending on the version of the Kickstarter you got. Clamshell packaging, but this one's resealable, as the original wasn't. You can get a collector's box, colour-coded box, foil stamped sleeve to go with it. Obviously all these things the original one didn't have. Todd's signature you can get, depending on the version you got. The original one didn't. Unless you, I guess, met him in person and got him to sign it. Alternative heads, signature holder, which is what I was mentioning before, the faceplate, colour-coded holder, extra hands from the, I believe the extra hands and the extra hands sets 1 and 2. I believe they all come from the stretch goals and things like that. And there's a nice base of the figure as well. So it will be, so depending on what version of the figure you donated to on Kickstarter, some of the versions were very expensive, but quite understandably, with the amount of extra stuff that came with and signatures and all that kind of stuff. This also has, wow, oh wow, this feels fantastic, really nice paper stock on this. Masterworks Certificate of Authenticity. This document represents that the autographed item received is authentic and distributed by Todd McFarlane Productions. It's really nice to get this Certificate of Authenticity with a Spawn logo on it. It's fun. Sorry it's not focusing very well on the certificate for some reason. But yeah, just to add a little extra class to the figure, there's also a Certificate of Authenticity. And this is just falling out the front. This isn't even the main thing yet. So, shall we have ourselves a bit of a gander? Oh ho ho! Look at that! Wow! There's some of his extra stuff. Look at that sword! Don't want it to fall out, so I'll just take it now. Massive sword. This is just an accessory. Look at that. Yep, fantastic. Some extra necroplasm. Like I said, this is all resealable and stuff, I believe, so if you want to keep it this way after you've looked at it, that's fine. Necroplasm claw. We've got an alternative head here, in case you want his mask off. Very nice detail. Look at that. Skull showing. Fantastic. There's even an adorable little necro knife there. Very cute. Right. Advertised as the record-breaking comic. They kind of repurposed that original sticker from the original figure, I suppose. Flying cape has swing open action. Wow, let's see if I can get this guy out properly. Here we go, out of box. Look at this thing. We'll get him out so you get rid of the glare. You can have a proper look at the figure. Don't worry, I'm not going to hold out on you. I will get the figure out. Massive, massive box. I mean, that's my hand. Once again, the damage equals reptiles. Just for reference. Whew. I've opened some nice figures in my life, but this is pretty special. I love the kind of classic sticker design as well on here, just to kind of show the comparison to the original. I think I can just pop this out. Yeah. So when they say it's resealable, they mean it. You don't have to destroy the box. You can keep this as a nice collector's item and still have a bit of a play around with it if you want to. I was worried the comic wasn't there, but he's remastered artwork. I'll just replace this guy for a second. Remastered artwork of the original comic that came with it. Reprint of Spawn 1. My favourite Spawn costume of all time, that. Look at that. And this looks like it's sealed in, but it does actually have a pulley thing at the top. So if you want to get this out, you can. Oh, wow, look at this. As a comics guy, this is a big deal as well as the figure. So just bear with me here as I fanboy a little bit. Oh, and it shows the design of all the classic toys on the back as advertisements. You see what the classic looked like. There's a Tremor figure, medieval Spawn, Clown, Violator, Overkill, stupidest character. Spawnmobile, the Violator monster rig, and there's a Spawn alley, like a playset. Instructions: cape swings open and closes as shown. Remove chains from the waist and place in Spawn's right hand. Place weapon in hand. Look at this. Special Kickstarter edition has the top, but this is a fantastic callback to the original version. Love that. That's great. So these are some of the figures you're going to see that they might remake. Imagine a remade to Filer. It'd be really cool. It'd be a really nice little set to have. A little battle scene if you wanted to have that. And it's got a nice foil name, title, and the foil lining all around the main image. Like I said, this is a reprint of Spawn 1, foil number 1. Oh, it's kind of like the director's cut version then. Yeah, very nice. Questions, part 1. Special Kickstarter director's, yeah, like I said, director's cut version here. So this is the original comic, but it's got all the original draft pages. You can see the original comic draft pages where they've titled Spawn issue 1. So you'll see all the kind of original artwork here of the first issue. I do have the director's cut issue of this. I'll be interested to see if this is the exact same kind of thing, just with the new cover. But as you can see, he explains the creation of the Spawn cover and more about the actual series itself as you go through. So a lot of it's in its original black and white with comments, and you can kind of see the construction of the artwork. Really cool, really nice thing to have here. Whether this will be worth a lot in the future, I don't know, because there was a not too long print a couple of years ago of the director's cut of this comic, but this is quite specifically a special one. It's only going to be with the Kickstarter comics, Kickstarter figures. And there's a signature McFarlane there, talking about promotional art, things like that. So that's promotional art on the left. Yeah, just a fantastic, beautiful little reprint. I'll make sure to keep that sealed in here. If we go back to our box here, we can probably get Spawn out. Here he is. Gwen's a bit intimidating in the background there. Oh yeah, look at this. It's taped together a little bit, so we'll just sort that out so we can get the bad boy out. Nice indentation of the cape in the plastic as well. Oh, ooh, this is exciting. Alright. Look at the detail of the cape. Wow, I'm amazed. I'm looking behind the figure and I'm amazed. Let's get this plastic off. I'll find a way to reassemble all that. Oh my lord, look at this. Look at the metal chains. Right, obviously the cape being posable. You kind of want to get this to work. Yeah, there's a stand. Some of the extras. Oh, is he actually plugged in here? Okay, let me just make sure I'm careful to get rid of these twist ties and such. Wow, okay, so this is pretty spectacular. Here is the man himself. Whew, this is a fucking figure, guys. Look at this thing. Alright, I mean, let's have a bit of a mess around with how this works. So he's obviously very posable. Nice joints there, a bit stiff. Obviously with a brand new figure this happens sometimes. But his wrist is very good. Clicks into place very nicely. Yeah. A lot of movement. Obviously it might be a problem with his shoulder here. But you just have a lot of separate joints on his arms. So you can kind of do what you want to do with him, I suppose. Yeah. Same with the other arm. Obviously just a bit stiff. Hopefully not too much of an issue. Some situations you can put them in some warm water for a little bit to loosen the joints. But for now, let's just have a look. Classic Spawn costume. My favourite costume. Nice. Oh yeah, double joints on his legs there. He's got a big hinge. He's got a joint here and a joint here. A bit more posable on his feet as well. Just loosen him up a little bit here. So you can be probably necrossy with him, I suppose. Here's his head. A lot of action on his head and neck is separate as well. Or might be, on the head and neck might be one separate thing actually. So how posable is this cape? Yeah, it has like a hinge joint, almost like a door hinge down here. So you can kind of bring the cape in and out. Oh wow, yeah, you can bring it right out. Look at that. These chains are like actual steel. You might be able to hear that. That's general steel right there. Genuine steel. Even up here, fantastic. Have them looking quite serious here. Let's see if we can get them on the stand. Alright. If you want to do stuff like this, the cape does make him a little top-sided. I guess you could just do that kind of thing to help him stand. Yeah, so you can do a half cape thing, full cape thing, closed cape thing. That's a pretty spectacular figure. The cape's a bit funnier than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a little bit more posable in the sense that maybe it would have a wire and you could just do what you want with it, like it was going to be more fabric-y. But there's still something pretty special in terms of capes. Like, that's pretty wild. I mean, you successfully found a way to pose them with the cape, so props to you. I mean, this thing looks even better from behind. Like, how fucking cool is that? That is just spectacular. He's standing pretty well to stand as well, actually. I'm happy he's not toppling over all over the place like I kind of thought he might do, because he's quite a hefty figure. Not just with the cape, but I mean, he has actual steel on him as well. And yeah, I mean, wow. Let's throw some accessories on him. We've got some accessories here, some alternative hands, and he's got this awesome little assault rifle as well. So let's see what we can do with him. Starting out pretty basic. Obviously, you can hold the assault rifle, which is good. His necroplasm sword thing fits really nicely into his hand. I feel like you might want to see a couple more details up close here, just to kind of give you an idea of the detail of this thing. So a lot of nice shading, good details on muscles and things like that. Just very comic-y, but just enough to be a little more realistic, grounded in reality, looking really good on your shelf. You can even see the imprint of his teeth through the mask and things like that. Really cool details, very reminiscent of the classic comics. So you can do some pretty big cool posy things with him. I'm trying to see how experimental I can get. I'm trying to do a bit of a rampage mode type thing going here. He's got alternative head, the big sword. He's you can remember he's got actual like joints in his toes, so you can pose that a little bit better. And he does actually stand pretty well considering. The cape actually comes in actually comes quite handy sometimes when it comes to the posing, and it can be a hindrance sometimes, but more so I've noticed that it is pretty useful to get him to stand the right way. Yes, you can do some pretty awesome stuff for this figure. It's a pretty special little set as far as like figures I've got. This is one of the cooler ones. But now I just have to kind of find some shelf space, which isn't easy. Pardon the mess, it's still a bit of a work in progress, this room. But there we go, there's the Kickstarter Spawn figure from McFarlane Toys. Keep your eyes open on McFarlane's Kickstarter page. There'll be more of these happening in the future, because it would be a bit silly for them not to do it. Straight back to cards on the channel, don't worry, this is something else happen now and then. Remember, the channel did always say TCG and plastic grab. We appreciate your time. Subscribe for more. We'll see you again. We appreciate it. See you later, and remember...
You made a deal, you stupid son of a bitch.